Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Chen. Nice to see you today. And today we're going to learn about how to solve multi-step word problem involving length, mass, and capacity. And today's objective is I can use addition and a subtraction to solve multi-step word problems involving length, mass, and capacity. And now you will need a piece of blank paper and pencil, a whiteboard, and a marker. I will give you 1 minute to go get those materials. And before starting our lesson, let's finish this chart as a practice first, same as from yesterday. With the unit meter and centimeter, as we know, 1 meter is 100 centimeter, and how many centimeter is 2 meters? It is 200 centimeters. And how many meters is 300 centimeters? It is 3 meters. And 4 meters is 400 centimeters. And 10 meters, that is 1,000 centimeters. And 67 meters, that is 6,700 centimeters. Okay, and here is another chart with unit, kilometer, kilogram, liter, meter, gram, and millimeters. So we already know 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters, and 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, and 1 liter is 1,000 millimeters. So how many is for 2 kilometers or kilograms or liters? That is 2,000. And 3 goes to 3,000. 4 goes to 4,000. And 11 goes to 11,000. 19, that goes 19,000. 56, that goes to 56,000. And 61 goes to 61,000. And 86 goes to 86,000. Okay, I think we're ready for our lesson. So let's look at our problem 1. The potatoes best brought weighted 3 kilograms, 420 grams. Her onions weighed 1,050 grams less than the potatoes. How much did the potatoes and onions weigh together? So after we finish reading the problem, do not rush yourself to write down the equation first. Ask yourself 2 questions. Can you draw something from the problem, and what can you draw? So for this problem, I know the potatoes best bought weighted 3 kilograms, 420 grams. So I will draw a diagram for bass first, and it weighs 3 kilograms, 420 grams. So this one for bass, for the potato. And this is for 3 kilograms, 420 grams. Okay, and the second thing I know from the problem is her onions weighed 1,050 grams, less than the potatoes. And I will draw another diagram to present this. As we know, it's 1,050 grams less. So I will draw this diagram smaller than the potatoes. So for onions, my diagram will be a little bit smaller. And this extra part will be 1,050 grams. Okay, and both of these diagrams are for our final question, which is how much did the potatoes and onion weigh together? So I will write the bracket and put the letter W, present what we're looking for. Okay, so, and with these diagrams, we're ready to solve our problem. So since we have the potato, which is 3 kilograms, 420 grams, and the onion, which we don't know yet. So we have to know the weight for onions, and we have to minus 1,050 grams. And we have to convert either one with the same unit to match with another one. So I will do the first number. And we already know 1 kilogram, that is 1,000 grams. So we have 3,120 grams minus 1,050 grams. And that gives us 2,370 grams. And after we know the weight for onions, and we can add them together to find the answer for our final questions. So for the potatoes, we have 3,420 grams and add with 2,370 grams. So this is the W we're looking for. And our answer is 5,790 grams. Okay, or we can say it is 5 kilograms, 790 grams. So you can write in both ways. Okay, so this is for our first problem. And let's look at our second one. Our second problem is Adele let out 18 meters, 46 centimeters of strings to fly her kite. She then let out 13 meters, 78 centimeters more before riding back in 590 centimeters. How long was her string after riding it in? So for this problem, I know Adele let out 18 meters, 46 centimeters for strings to fly her kite. So I will draw a diagram for her first let out, which is 18 meters, 46 centimeters. So let out. $18 meters, 46 centimeters. Okay, and then we know she let out 13 meters, 78 centimeters more before riding back. So I will draw another diagram next to this one for 13 meters, 78 centimeters, like this right here. 13 meters, 78 centimeters. Okay, so this bar is her total distance let out. And the next thing I know from the problem is she riding back in 590 centimeters, but we don't know how many distance is she riding in. And I will draw another diagram to present this, which is for our final question. Okay, so right in, which we don't know yet. And this extra part is for 590 centimeters. And this bar, I will name it letter 8 for our final question, which is how long was her string after writing it in? So we can start solving our questions. So let's find out what's the total distance she let out, which is this bar right here. This whole bar. So let's add these two numbers together, which is 18 meters, 46 centimeters. Add 13 meters, 78 centimeters. Okay, so 46 centimeters plus 78 centimeters, it gives us 124 centimeters. And 18 meters plus 13 meters, that is 31 meters. And we know 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So we can break this number into 100 centimeters and 24 centimeters. And this 100 centimeters can move to the meters area. So we have 32 meters and 24 centimeters. Okay, since we have this, the total distance for let out, then we can be able to find the distance should route in, which is we only need to subtract 590 centimeters. Okay, and let me erase this part first. Okay, and I realized they don't have the same unit yet. And I will convert the first one to in the centimeters. So we know 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So we have 3,200 centimeters and 24 centimeters. Now we can directly add this in. So for let out, we have 3,224 centimeters and minus 590 centimeters. And our answer is 4 minus 0, that is 4, and 2 minus 9, let's borrow from the 100 place, 1, and give us 12, and 12 minus 9, 3, and 1 minus 5, borrow another 1 from dozen place, give us 2, and 11 right here, 11 minus 5, 6, and 2 right here. So our final answer should routing it in, the distance is 2,634 centimeters. Or you can write 26 meters, 34 centimeters. Okay, so this is our answer for problem number 2. Okay, and our third answer, third question. Shane's barrel contained 6 liters, 775 millimeters of paint. She poured in 1 liter, 118 millimeters more. The first day, Shane used 2 liters, 125 millimeters of the paint. After the second day, there were 1,769 millimeters of paint remaining in the barrel. How much paint did Shane use on the second day? So, okay. So from the problem, the first thing I noticed, she has a barrel that can contain 6 liters, 775 millimeters of paint. So I will draw a diagram for that first. So for barrel diagram, then this is for 6 liter, 775 millimeters. Okay, and after she poured in 1 liter, 118 millimeters more. So I will add another small bar next to it for 1 liter, 118 millimeters. Okay, and the first day, she used 2 liters, 125 millimeters of the paint. So I will draw another bar right here for day 1. And we don't know how much paint left in the barrel, but we know how much she used. So I will draw a little bit less, like probably like probably right here. And this extra part that will represent 2 liter, 125 millimeters. And then for the second day, there were 1,769 millimeters of paint remaining in the barrel. So we know how much paint remains in the barrel. So let's draw another diagram for day 2. So we have this much left, 1,769 millimeters. And this extra part is the question, the final question we need to find. how much paint did Xuan use on the second day. So I will name it letter A for our final question answer. And to find out the final question's answer, we have to find out how much paint left in the barrel for first day. So I will name this B, letter B. We have to find out B, letter B first, and then we can be able to know how much is A. So to be able to find B, we have to add the total amount of paint for the barrel right here, which is 6 liters 775 millimeters plus 1 liter 118 millimeter, and it will give us 7 liter 893 millimeters. 7 liter 893 millimeter. Okay. And we know for the first day she used 2 liters 125 millimeters of the paint. So we only have to use this total amount of number. Use this total amount of number to subtract 2 liter 125 millimeters. Then we can know the letter B answer. So 7 liter 893 millimeter minus 2 liter 125 millimeters, and it will give us 5 liter 768 millimeters. Okay, and since we know for B, which is 5 liter 768 millimeters, and we only have to use this number to subtract 1,769 millimeters, then we can get our final A. Okay, and I realize they don't share the same units, so I will have to convert one of them to match with another one. So I will convert the first one, the number which is 5 liter 768 millimeters to millimeters. So 1 liter equals 1,000 millimeters. So we have 5,768 millimeter. Okay, and subtract 1,769 millimeter, and it gives us 3,999 millimeters. Okay, and this is what we're looking for. So she used 3,999 millimeters on the second day. Okay, and let's look at our final practice problem. On Thursday, the pizzeria used 2 kilograms, 180 grams less flour than they used on Friday. On Friday, they used 12 kilograms, 240 grams. On Saturday, they used 1,888 grams more than on Friday. What was the total amount of flour used over 3 days? Okay, so for this problem, I know on Thursday, the pizzeria used 2 kilograms, 180 grams less flour than they used on Friday. So we don't know how much flour did the pizzeria use on Thursday. So I will draw a diagram to represent that. So for Thursday, okay, this diagram represents this. So I will name it letter A. Okay, and this small part is 2 kilogram 180, because it says the pizzeria used 2 kilograms, 180 grams less flour than they used on Friday. So our Friday flour used amount will be right here. This one right here. And it says they used 12 kilograms to 140 grams. Okay. And then we know on Saturday they used 1,888 grams more than on Friday. So my diagram should be 1,888 grams more than the second one. So Saturday, it'll be a little bit more than the second one. So this extra part is for 1,888 grams. Okay. And our final question is asking what was the total amount of flour used over the 3 days. So all 3 of these diagrams, we need to add them together to get our answer. So I will draw a big bracket over it and name it, give a letter C for our final answer. And this is letter B for the flour using on Saturday. So, actually we don't need letter B because we already know the answer for this. Because it says it's 1,800 grams more on Friday. So right here is 12 kilograms, 240 grams right here. Okay, so we have to know the amount of flour we used on Thursday. Pizzeria used on Thursday. So we have to use 12 kilograms, 240 grams minus 2 kilograms, 180 grams first. So we get 10 kilograms, 60 grams. That is for Thursday. 10 kilograms, 60 grams. Okay. And then we need to find out the total amount on the flour pizzeria used on Saturday, which is 12 kilograms, 240 grams, and plus 1,888 grams. And I need to convert the first one to the kilograms unit. So I will have 12,240 grams plus 1,088 grams. So I have 14,128 grams. So the total amount they used on Saturday is 14 kilograms, 128 grams. And for our final answer is asking the total amount of flour they used over 3 days. So we have to add all 3 numbers together. So this number, and this number, and this number. So 10 kilograms, 60 grams, plus 12 kilograms, 240 grams, and plus 14 kilograms, 128 grams. It will give us, so 60 plus 240 gives us 300 grams. And 10 plus 12, that is 22 kilograms. And 300 plus 128, that is 428 grams. And 22 kilograms plus 14 kilograms, that is 36 kilograms. So this is our final answer. So the total amount of the flour used over the 3 days will be 36 kilograms, 428 grams. Okay, and that's all for the practice problem. And now it is your turn. I will give you about 6 minutes to complete these practice problems, and then we will come back together to go over the answers. Okay, and here is the answer key. I will give you 10 seconds to take a look. Okay, and let's start go over the answers. Okay, so for our first question, chef placed a pineapple with the mass of 890 grams on a balance scale. He balanced the scale by placing 2 oranges, an apple, and a lemon on the other side. Each orange weighs 280 grams. The lemon weighs 195 grams, less than each orange. What is the mass of the apple? Okay, so let's start drawing the diagram first. Okay, so for this problem, we already know the mass of the pineapple already. So let's make a diagram for pineapple first. So this is for 190 grams. And since it says he balanced the scale by placing 2 oranges, an apple, and a melon on the other side. So which means they're equivalent. So let me just write other fruits, and it will be the same amount, which is 890 grams as well. And it has 4 fruits. So let's divide this bar into 4 parts. So 2 for oranges, 1 for apple, and 1 for lemon. And we already know each orange weighs 280 grams. So each of them is 280 grams. And we haven't know the mass for apple yet. So let's just leave that. And the lemon weighs 195 grams less than each orange. So for lemon's weight, that is 280 minus 195, and which is equal 85. And the way to find out the mass of the apple, we have to use the total amount, which is 890 grams minus 280 grams minus 280 grams and minus 85 grams. And that gives us 245 grams, which is the apple's mass. Okay, so this is for the first question. And our second question, that is, Marsha has 3 rocks. The first rock is 2 meters, 87 centimeters long. The second rock has a length 98 centimeters, less than the first one. The third rock is 111 centimeters longer than the second rock. What is the difference in the centimeters between the length of the first rock and the third rock? Okay, so we already know the length for the first rock. So let's start with the diagram with first one first. So for the first rock, that is 2 meters, 87 centimeters. Okay, and the second rock has a length 98 centimeters less than the first one. So, oops. For the second one, that's a little bit shorter. And this extra part, that is 98 centimeters. And we don't know this part, this length yet. So I will give a letter A. And for the third rock, it says it is 111 centimeters longer than the second rock. So it's a little bit longer than the second one, and also a little bit longer than the first one. And this extra part, that is 111 centimeters. And we don't know this part yet, so I will give a letter B. But as soon we know the length for letter A, we will directly know the letter B. So I will just give this a letter A because they're equivalent. Okay, and we can start solving our problem. So before start solving the problem, let's convert all the numbers with the same unit. So we already know 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So for the first rack, we have 287 centimeters. So 287 centimeters, we have to minus 98 centimeters. So then we can get the distance for letter A, which is the second rock's length. And that gives us 189 centimeters. And then we, since we already know the second rock's length, 189 centimeters, and we will add 111 centimeters to get the total length for the third rock, and which is 189 plus 111, and give us 300 centimeters. And for this one, the third rock is the total length is 300 centimeters. Okay, and our final question is, what is the difference in centimeters between the length of the first rock and the third rock? So we have to find the difference between the first one and third one. So we'll need the subtraction. So I will use 300 centimeters to subtract 287 centimeters. And that gives us 13 centimeters. And this is the difference in centimeters between the length of the first rock and the third rock. Okay, and our last problem. The gas tank in Zachary's car has a capacity of 60 liters. He adds 23 liters 825 millimeters of gas to the tank, which already has 2,050 millimeters of gas. How much more gas can Zachary add to the gas tank? Okay, so since we already know his car has a capacity of 60 liters, so let's draw this one first. Draw a diagram for gas tank that can fill about 60 liters of gas. And then we know he adds 23 liters 825 millimeters of gas to the tank. So let me write a diagram for gas. So first, 23 liter 825 millimeter. And then in the gas tank, inside the car, it already has 2,050 millimeters of gas. So let's just add this on the side, 250 millimeters of gas. Okay, and how much more gas can Zachary add to the gas tank? So this extra part is what we're looking for. And I will give a letter A for our final question answer. Okay, and we're ready to solving our questions. And before solve the problem, let's convert all the numbers with the same unit. So we already know 1 liter is equal to 1,000 millimeters. And for the gas tank amount of gas, we have 60,000 millimeters. And for this one, the first part, this part is 23,825 millimeters. And this will just keep like that. Okay, so to be able to find letter A, answer of letter A, then we need to use this amount, which is 60 liters, to subtract these two numbers. So I will use 60,000 millimeters minus 23,825 millimeters and minus 2,050 millimeters. Then we can get a letter A. And that gives us 34,125 millimeters. Or you can write as 34 liter 125 millimeter. Okay, and that's all for practice problem. Okay, and so today we learned how to use addition and subtraction to solve multi-step word problems involving length, mass, and capacity. And here are some resources for you to practice at home. And I will put both of them on the learning guide as well. So for the first one, that's Khan Academy again. So for this, it has convert units multi-step word problems. And yeah, it provides a lot of practice problem for you, as always. And this website is telling you some basic knowledge for the metric measurements with length, mass, or weight. Yeah, length, mass, and capacity. And they also provide some practice problems. And I think this website is pretty useful. And yeah, take a look if you're interested. And that's all for today. And have a wonderful day. I will see you next time. Bye.